What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have our last Swiss game from the Origins 2019 Vault Tour for KeyForge Age of Ascension. It was sealed. We have George on the left, the previous Vault Tour winner. And he's playing Zach on the right. And this is the final round of Day 1B. Both these players, I'm pretty sure this is one of the higher tables. For sure, one of them will be moving on to Day 2. But possibly both. Alright, so on the left side we had George start with Mars, threw down a Mother Gun. And on the right we have, I believe it's Rothias the Fierce. Nope, it's Merrick the Marked. And a Proclamation, which is going to raise the key cost by 2. While George does not have 3 houses represented in his creatures. And he starts with a Bren the Fanatic there on a Shadow's turn, a Ronnie Wrist Clocks, and a Bad Penny. Gives his opponent an Amber off the Bren the Fanatic. He's now they're both at to 1 Amber apiece. And after this, we have lots more from Day 2 coming up from the top cut. I filmed a couple matches each round. I filmed a bunch of matches that were not on the stream. So if you've already watched the Origins 2019 stream, you're going to see a lot more games that you have not seen. So make sure you hit subscribe and that alarm bell button so you're notified when those videos go up. But stick around, those will all be put in a playlist at Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube. So it looks like Zach forgot to take an Amber there off of, I think, a Take Hostages he played there. Or the Bren the Fanatic, one or the other. But George is reminding him that he should be at 2 because 1 was stolen off Ronnie Wrist Clocks. But he looks like he played 2 Take Hostages. Or Terms of Redress. I think it's Take Hostages. Now let's check the deck list, which are in the description below. If you guys want to see what cards are in their decks, you can go check those out. I have the links to their Master Vaults down below. So we have a Researcher hitting the board. He's going to allow Zach to archive a card.
I'm going to start by stunning all your guys. Yep.
And Tremor's going to stun both the creatures on Zach's board there. And we have a Ganger Chieftain readying and fighting with Bren the Fanatic, who has Skirmish. And we'll hit the Researcher. Should it not kill the Researcher? Okay, yes. I was confused a bit there too. So was Zach. Skirmish 3 does kill a 2-power creature. And we have a Drummernaut returning Ganger Chieftain to hand. George is running the combo here. He has 2 Drummernauts in his deck, 1 Ganger Chieftain. So interestingly, a card I'm seeing in both their decks here is Too Much to Protect, which seemed to be a popular card as we go through this series, filming the top tables here. So Relentless Assault, he's going to ready and fight with up to 3 creatures, I believe. Yeah, 3 different friendly creatures, 1 at a time. And he's counting his uses on the Ganger Chieftain here. So he's reaping with Drummernaut. He reaped there with Ganger Chieftain, who tried to ready and fight. Nothing was happening. Drummernaut's returning Ganger Chieftain to hand. So 4th use of the Ganger Chieftain, who readies to fight, but nobody to fight. So Drummernaut will reap. And Ganger Chieftain back to hand, coming back out for his last use. And the Drummernaut reaped for use number 4, I believe. And George is at 5 Amber, looking for a way to make a 6. Oh, okay, sorry. That was the last use of the Ganger Chieftain there. That was the 6th use. So he does get to that 6th Amber.
Shadows? You are not checked, actually. You don't have all 3 of your... You're right, creatures, yeah.
And yes, George is not in check. He got to 6 Amber, but his key cost is increased by 2 because of the Proclamation across the table. Since he only has Shadows and Broadnar creatures, he needs to throw down something from Mars to have a normal key cost there.
I gain 1, and if you have more than me, I draw 1. If I have more than you, I archive. Okay.
So Dust Chronicles is going to get Zach an extra card here, and also gain him an Amber. And Zach is running Time Traveler in his deck. He does have a Time Traveler. And we got a Shadow's turn here. We got a Knuckles Bolt and a Yahtzee Gang. And a Whistling Darts. Sending Bad Penny back to hand, dealing 1 damage to each other creature. And Little Nif, drop downs Omega, deploy in the middle of the battle line there, and end Zach's turn. Sitting at 5 Amber. So both players have shadows in their deck. Both have a bunch of steel. George has Treasure Map in his deck. Also has a Swindle. 1 Ronnie Wristclocks. So we got a Mother Gun Mars play here. A Fixed Finger and a Beam Buckler to kill Bren the Fanatic to steal 3. I do have myself a Shadows deck with 3 Bren the Fanatics. And it has Mars also and a lot of direct damage that I'm able to hit my own Bren the Fanatics and kill them. Which is exactly what George did here. I do love that little synergy. So Beam Buckler there on the left flank, followed by Fixed Finger. Fixed Finger is giving all other Martian creatures +1 armor. And then he plays a Mars Knees Amber just for the Amber. Putting himself at, looks like, 10 Amber. So George now is definitely in check. He's turned off Proclamation. He does have all 3 creatures, but if you have Proclamation out, that's part of your strategy, is to make sure the creature of the odd house doesn't stay. So if he were to take out Ronnie Wristclocks, you would definitely force George to pay 8 for his key instead of 6. He does have that Knuckles Bolton out there that does have Skirmish and Elusive. He also has that Yahtzee Gang for some steel. He is going to go Shadows. So he steals 1, brings George down to 9, himself up to 3. Knuckles Bolton will fight Ronnie Wristclocks. And that's it. Yeah, he chooses not to play any cards out of hand. Just go with the Shadows house to make George pay some extra Amber. Which I don't think is a bad call, actually.
It doesn't have to be your 3 houses. It just has to be 3 houses. Does not control creatures from 3 different houses. So if you like Color of Subordination or something like that, it'll cancel that out. I'm gonna go.
So George does now have a key. 1 Amber remaining. Zach still looking for his first key, sitting at 3 Amber. And we got the Gengar Chieftain coming back. Fixed Finger is going to fight into Knuckles Bolton for Elusive. Nothing happens. Well, the Elusive is now gone off Knuckles. And the Drummernot's going to reap, sending back Gengar Chieftain. And we have a Groke hitting the board. Then a Gengar Chieftain, readying Groke. He's going to fight Knuckles Bolton, killing him, and forcing Zach to lose an Amber. So we see some of the Amber control out of Brobnar in action here. And we have a second Drummernot coming in here, returning Gengar Chieftain back to hand on the play. And just when you thought it wasn't going to happen, here it goes again. So Drummernot readies up, fights, Knuckles takes 5 damage, 1 damage away from dying. And remember, it's by title is the rule of 6. So those 2 Drummernots are all adding to that total of 6. And we got the ready reap thing happening here with Gengar Chieftain. And he's going to return Groke back to hand, play him back out, shake off the damage. Since he can't use the Gengar Chieftains anymore. Puts himself to 5 Amber. And we have Sanctum going on Zach's side here. He grabs his archives. Throws down an Armor Smith, who's going to give each other friendly creature +1 armor. And he gets an Armageddon Cloak. So if he's destroyed, he's fully healed. And you just destroy Armageddon Cloak instead. He also has Hazardous too. And we have a Radiant Truth, stunning all the creatures not on a flank on the enemy's side. And then we have a Blinding Light, stunning all Brobnar House, which gets the 2 on the flank. And George has to borrow some stun tokens from his opponent. So George still ahead by a key. Both players have 5 amber right now. George's entire board is stunned. So we got shadows here. We got a Merkin slap down. He's going to play the top card off of the deck since there's no archives left. And it's going to be a time traveler. Ouch, what a hit. And it's going to increase his anti-proclamation board there of having creatures from 3 different houses. He now has creatures from 4 different houses. Gains an amber, draws 2 cards, plays Furtive Investors. And he just gets an amber off that since his opponent doesn't have more amber than him or have any keys forged.
I don't know what it does. I have to read it. That's the find your time traveler and get him. I think it only does deck and discard? Yep.
Yeah, so we're just talking about Time Traveler and being on the other side and the help from Future Self. If he were to play it, he'd search his deck and discard pile, obviously fail since he doesn't have it anymore. And he gets to shuffle his discard pile back into his deck, which Zach chooses to do here, does gain an amber off the play. And then when that's done resolving, help from Future Self will go to the discard pile. That is hilarious. And yeah, they're asking if the action is used on the Time Traveler, he'll go back to his owner's deck. Since he goes to an out-of-play area, he'll go back to where the owner's out-of-play area is, not the controller's. And I'm sure George doesn't want to do that effect. Doesn't help him in any way. I'm sure he'll just use them to reap, maybe fight. So we have a lab work played here. It's going to gain an amber, allows Zach to archive a card. And he plays an Igor, looks at the top 3 cards of the deck, chooses 1 to put to hand, and discard the other 2. And a Titan Librarian, not on the flank, and a Library of Babel. Or sorry, Titan Librarian is on the flank, but not able to use his ability, is what I was trying to say there. So George will forge a key for 6. He's up to 2 keys. His opponent's on check with 7. He's going to choose Shadows, Reap with Merkins, gaining an amber. And we have a treasure map play here, which will gain him 4 amber, 1 from playing the card, 3 from the ability. If you've not played any other cards this turn, you gain 3. For the remainder of the turn, you cannot play cards. Seems like a good play. He's in check for his final key. Zach forges his first key. Let's see what Zach can do to keep this game going. He could kill the Merkins, could kill the Time Traveler. And that would lead George to be out of check because Proclamation would increase the cost of the keys by 2. Does he have any Capture and Sanctum he can use? Or any Steal out of Shadows? He's going Logos, though. Interesting. And he uses Library of Babel to draw a card there. Throws down another Researcher. He does have 2 in the deck. And gets to archive the top card of his deck. Looks like it was a Logos card.
Igor will fight and kill my Time Traveler.
And Igor is going to kill the Time Traveler. They'll trade. Oh, the armor actually from the Armor Smith there is helping keep Igor alive. And same thing will happen with the Librarian, who will kill Merkins and only take 1 damage due to having that extra armor. So there he did. He got the Proclamation turned on again. He doesn't need to draw, but he does archive a card off of Titan Librarian. So George will not forge since his key cost is 8 right now. Still has that stun board since his only 2 unstunned creatures were killed. He's going to do Brobnar, and he's going to unstun all of his creatures. And we have a Gauntlet of Command played down, a Screech Bomb, and Tireless Grokog. who can not reap and maybe used as if it belonged to any house. And if his opponent has no creatures in play, he must destroy Tyler's Crowcog. Big 7 body rare there.
Sanctum.
So we have a Sanctum turn from Zach. He's looking at his archives. Don't think he's going to take it, though.
Radiant Truth.
And we have another Radiant Truth here.
Every creature not in the flank is stunned.
So he restuns most of the Brobnar creatures.
Marked. Done. Back to you.
So he plays Merrick the Mark there. Reaps with the Armor Smith. Goes up to 3 Amber.
Unstun these guys.
And George is going to go Mars. Unstuns the Beam Buckler and the Fixed Finger. We got a Mother Gun play here.
We're gonna blow up this guy. Yep.
So he reveals 4 there and kills the Titan Librarian.
Crowcag will just take out Mark.
And Tireless Crowcag is going to just fight Merrick the Mark. Take 5 damage back.
Destroys them all. I will destroy.
And we have a Destroy Them All. He gets to destroy a creature, an artifact, and an upgrade. And Proclamation is gone. A Researcher's gone there. And the upgrade that was on the Armor Smith. And if he uses the Armor Smith, he's destroyed off of a containment field. And we have a Collector Worm on the left flank.
Like the action, yes, but the armor. No. Okay. Dominator.
And a Dominator coming into play stunned on the left flank.
I'll put the Igor in my archive.
And a sample collection. Since Zach has 1 KeyForge, he will be able to archive Igor there. So George is in check with 6 Amber. It's quite the commanding board. Bunch of them are stunned. Zach's going to name Shadows, take his archives. Can he make this go another round here?
Sucker punch, kill, or drummer.
He's got a Sucker Punch, destroying a Drummer Knot. Re-archiving Sucker Punch.
They were both stunned. Were they? Yeah. So I unstunned them all, and then you restunned them all. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. I just unstunned these guys. Gotcha. So, and he was flanked at the time. Knuckles. Yep.
So Knuckles Bolton coming into play on the right flank. Gets a Dusk Runner put on him.
Furtive Investors.
So if he reaps, he'll be able to steal 1. We have Furtive Investors. George does have more Amber. He'll get 1. Draw a card. I think he means Dusk Chronicles. Said Furtive Investors, but that would be gaining 1 Amber for each key his opponent has forged. But his discard pile is off the screen there, so he may have done that wrong. He does have 1 Dusk Chronicles and 1 Furtive Investors. Oh, never mind. There's his Furtive Investors.
You have forged, so I'm gonna get 3 total. You don't, because first you get the Amber, and then you have even Steven. Right.
Yeah, so he plays the card. You get the Amber first off the card. He goes to the ability. They have exactly the same Amber, so Furtive Investors will not do anything there. And Zach's just playing it out there, getting as much Amber as he can, but congratulations to George there on the win. And like I said, we got more from day 2 coming up, so stick around to the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you want to help the channel and donate over on Patreon. The link is in the description below. And make sure you hit that like button to help other people find us on YouTube when they're searching for KeyForge videos. Feel free to share these videos around on social media. And thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one.